All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name
Bueno,
I am the County Communications Director and Chief Public Information Officer for the County of Monterey. Mayor Carroll is on vacation this week, so I will be your moderator of this press briefing. Today is Wednesday, August 9th, 2023, and welcome to our Wednesday press briefing. I've put the agenda in the chat for you all for your convenience so that you can follow along or give you some ideas later on when you're writing your stories. We're going to start first with our friends from FEMA and the Small Business Administration. I see Marielli, Carty, de la Rosa on the phone with us with SBA, one of my favorite people with the Small Business Administration. And welcome, Mariella. And I know you're going to give us a fantastic update with regard to applications for disaster assistance, both in English and Spanish.
That is very true, Nick. Thank you so much. You're always a beautiful person, so thank you. Okay, let's start quickly. I will speak about the SBA number with the for the Monterey County. This is very important because, as you know, the DRC is no longer there physically, but we'll still receiving application from the people affected by the storms that began on February 21st of this year. Okay, so let's start. First of all, for Monterey County, we have received 61 home loans applications, and we have received 59 business and EIDL loan applications. We have approved more than $3.2 million, and that is a very good number, but still, we still receiving application from these people affected by these storms. Also, we have received 1,660 referrals from FEMA. Remember that this number is just a referral from FEMA, and SBA does not contact these people refer to us unless they apply for an SBA disaster assistance. If FEMA refer them to us, they must apply with SBA because it's part of the process. And if they choose not to apply, they will stop the process with FEMA. So it's very important, if the people receive a referral from FEMA to us, they must apply with us. But it's very important to mention as well that if they apply with us and they doesn't want to accept the loan, it's not an obligation to accept the loan with us. Okay, it's just part of the process. And then let's talk about the numbers, but in Spanish now, Nick. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay. Vamos a hablar entonces de los números que hemos recibido por parte de las personas que viven en el condado de Monterrey para la SBA, que somos nosotros, ¿verdad? Hemos recibido 61 aplicaciones de hogares. Hemos recibido 59 aplicaciones de negocios o personas que han sido afectadas económicamente en su negocio. Hemos aprobado más de $3.2 millones en asistencia en forma de préstamos federales a bajo interés. Hemos recibido 1,660 referidos de parte de FEMA. Es importante mencionar que este número es un referido de parte de FEMA y la SBA no contacta a estas personas referidas a menos que apliquen para asistencia con la SBA. Bien importante, si FEMA los refiere es porque es parte del proceso y deben aplicar con la SBA, es parte del proceso. Ahora, si ellos escogen no solicitar asistencia con la SBA, pues paran el proceso con FEMA. Es un requisito de FEMA, no de nosotros, ¿ok? Bien importante. Entonces, recuerden que no es una obligación aceptar un préstamo federal a bajo interés de parte de nosotros. Pueden solicitar, pero si no están de acuerdo, no tienen que aceptarlo. Así que voy a poner toda esta información en el chat por si lo necesitan. Igualmente, pueden todavía solicitar asistencia por daños físicos en disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. Esta información también la voy a poner en el chat. And I will say this in English because I didn't say it before, Nick. Remember, we'll still receive an application, and the people affected by this storm can apply through our secure web, that is disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. I will put that information on the chat. Thank you so much, Nick. Go ahead with the other people here.
Well, thank you very much, Marielli. It's always great to have you, and we appreciate the information. I think it's important to note that the SBA and FEMA have been a tremendous partner with the County of Monterey, and so we're grateful for, especially Marielli, you're participating in these briefings almost on a weekly basis. So thank you again. We did invite Chad Bowman from FEMA, but I don't see he's joined yet. So if he does join us, we'll come back to him in later in this briefing. So now we're going to change subjects and we're going to move to Car Week. Car Week is coming up next week. It's one of the largest events, if not the largest event in the Monterey Peninsula that affects virtually the entire county. And with us today, we have a number of guests that will be talking about Car Week. We have folks from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, from our own Housing and Community Development, as well as Monterey Regional Fire, and of course, the California Highway Patrol. So if those folks are on, if you could activate your cameras, that'd be great, so they could all see you. And I appreciate it very, very much. And so we're going to go to Emily Evans first to kind of give us a Car Week overview and what people might expect, whether they're visiting or just locals trying to get around our beautiful peninsula.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm the PR director of the Monterey County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Nick, you are correct. Car Week is our largest countywide event. It attracts over 85,000 people. It has a massive economic impact on the county. Over $65 million are spent during Car Week. And Car Week alone has raised $33 million since it was incepted. Last year, it raised $3 million for over 100 local charities. So we're talking about a nice impact to our local communities. And we always encourage our visitors and residents to explore and travel responsibly. Just follow posted guidelines, limit your single-use plastics, and leave no trace when you're exploring the region. The MCCVB has created a link for visitors and locals alike to use during Car Week. It's cmonterey.com/Car Week. And I'll go through that link briefly right now. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so you can see at cmonterey.com/Car Week our entire comprehensive guide about everything Car Week that runs the 11th to the 20th, so starting this Friday. We've got jump links at the top so that you can jump down to whatever relevant information that you're looking for. At the top, you'll see an interactive map, so you can go through and find any specific map by region. If you click on any specific link, you'll be able to click out to the page. It has all of the information, contact information, location, and then links to their websites and price for all of the events. As you keep on going, we have information about the shuttle services. So the two different shuttle services, the free Monterey trolley shuttle, which runs its typical route between downtown Monterey and the aquarium, as well as the Carmel Chamber of Commerce's trolley on August 20th. And then as you just go down, it is a very detailed list of events in chronological orders. Over 30 events are listed throughout the 10 days of Car Week. And yeah, that's a good amount of resources. Oh, one more thing. We also have some travel information right over here. So this links directly out to the county's website for current traffic advisories and closures, which you can see right over here. So you can get some real-time information about the traffic in the county. And that's what we have to share at the MCCVB. Thank you, Nick.
Great, and thank you, Emily, for being such a great partner and talking about how much money this event does raise for charities, local charities. So yes, it has an impact, but yes, it has a broad impact that helps everybody. So thank you so much. I'm going to shift gears over now to Dina Northcutt with our Housing and Community Development Department, who's going to talk a little bit more about the interactive map that Emily alluded to and shared just a few minutes ago. Welcome to our Wednesday briefing.
Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this briefing. I'm going to go ahead and share our map and tell you a little bit about what our map does and how it's a little bit different. So we do partner with cmonterey.com, and the difference between their map and our map is we really tried to list all of the permit statuses, because back in 2018, when we decided to build our map, we were getting a lot of calls from, constituents and the Board of Supervisors asking, is this a permitted event, and why is there so much traffic on my street, and blah blah blah, because we were all kind of, I think, just figuring it all out at the time. So our map is different because we do have, a lot of the larger events. I don't think we have all the events that cmonterey.com has. As I said, we do work hand in hand with cmonterey.com's website and the team over there. Let me go ahead and share my screen and kind of show you. Okay, you should be able to see the map now.
We're not seeing it yet.
Not yet. Oh, one second.
There
How about now? Okay, good. So we have a main map here that is found off of our website, which is by the month, so January, through December. When you click on the August link, you do see the car week link here. So let me get over here here it is, the car week map. This year we've added a couple of things that are kind of important. I added a legend because, we had so many different things that were happening, construction and alternating lane closures and things like that. The main thing was the directional traffic cameras, which I'll show you in just a bit. We also have the car week event schedule. This is kind of an at a glance, the main thing that we have listed on our county website. So basically you would be able to just click on any of these links. It's just a little bit of like a thumbnail of what things are happening on that day. So, we start off with the Monterey kickoff, and again, this event is within city limits. It's not a county event. That doesn't mean there aren't any permits out there. That just means that it's being handled by the city. Then we'll kind of skip ahead. We have a few more things here that are happening. We'll get down to the bigger ones here. So August 18th, 19th, and 20th, a lot of things happening then. I'll go ahead and show you basically. So here's the Quail Motorsports Gathering, for example. Permits are still in process. And I'm going to zoom out and show you some coolness here. Some of the things that we added, which are the traffic cams. So basically, hopefully you can you see the traffic cam okay?
Yes, we can.
There you go. So, and this works perfectly on a mobile device. So let's say you're driving along and you're like, okay, there's a huge, block ahead of us. What's going on? That's basically, you can just click on the traffic cam and see what's happening if it's not automatically showing up. We have a lot of different traffic layers. So you also have, just like anything else, you've got red if it's, slow traffic, green if it's fast traffic, etc. The other thing that we're doing with our site is we have a lot of items that we're putting on Facebook. So plan your trip, mccarweek.com, little QR code here. People can scan. It takes them straight to mccarweek.com. We also have the same items here that Monterey has. So text 888-777 to get the car week updates. And a lot of the other things here that are on the HCD Facebook page. They're going to be, if they're not already, on the main county site too, about, fire lanes being clear, fire safety, etc. The other thing I wanted to show you that we have is, again, to the public works site, click here to view road closures. So this is the same link that Monterey also has. So again, you can see we do work hand in hand. If you see something on their site and you want to see if it's on our site, to see if it's permitted, you can just look it up and you'll see if it's on our site, etc. So you should be good to go. Any questions?
Yeah, any questions for our folks or the folks at MCCDB. And I also forgot to ask earlier if anybody had any questions for the SBA. So we'll take some questions before we move on to Matthew Lumadue from the Monterey Regional Fire. Okay. All right, no questions as of yet. So why don't we just go ahead and move forward? And Matthew, welcome. And I know you've been with us before, and we appreciate your support and on these briefings. And so let's talk about fire safety issues around the county, especially as it gets warmer and drier as we get closer to Car Week.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Okay, great. So one thing about fire safety, and especially with all the cars coming into town this week, we really want to get the message out about chain dragging. We want to ensure the public knows that, any dragging chains can start a spark and kick off into the brush and begin fires. So that'll be one of the messages that we really try to get out, is making sure your chains are tightened to the appropriate length and or have chain covers on them. What we're going to be doing is pushing out a few things on social media, just like was just mentioned. A lot of the Facebook sites and things like that, we're going to be reposting those. So we'll also be putting out a few safety messages about chain dragging, things like that. Some of the obvious things, no smoking, that type of thing. We do have some staffing for the different events. So for instance, the reunion race at Laguna Seca, we will have an engine on Wednesday and Thursday, an engine and a UTV on Friday and Saturday from 0700 to 1800, and that's be each day. For the Bottoms event, we will have an engine on Friday from 10 to 1700. And at the Quail Motorsports at Quail Lodge, we will have an ambulance and e-bikes on Friday from 08 to 1800. So a lot of our messaging as far as fire safety, that will be found on our social media sites, and I'll be posting those a little bit later today. But we appreciate everyone else's input, because a lot of the things that we would like to post, it doesn't sound like we'll have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of these things we'll be able to take from some of the county sites and repost those. So thank you everyone for your work on that, and I will be poaching those.
And we welcome that, Matthew.
Yes, yeah, it's a great way to get more information out, and since it's already designed. Some of the messages that we will be putting out are pretty obvious ones, but these are things that we'd like everyone to share with the public. Obviously, drive with caution. Planning your routes ahead of time. Some of these maps that were just introduced are going to be really great resources for people who need to plan their routes or who need to adjust their routes. So plan your routes ahead of time. One message we'll really be pushing out is make sure to yield to emergency vehicles. When we have this much traffic and congestion, people really need to know to pull to the right and make sure to yield to emergency vehicles. Another message we'll be putting out is watch out for pedestrians and bicycles. We also have people coming in on bicycles to try to avoid the traffic, as well as we have some emergency personnel on bicycles. So we really want people to watch out for pedestrians and bicycles. And the final one is expect delays. Don't be in a rush. This is not a time to be in a rush. There are going to be delays. So again, drive with caution and plan your routes ahead of time. I thank you all for your time and your input on this event. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot them out.
Great, Matthew. Thank you so much. And anything you all create and you want us to share through our county channels, please do send it my way, and I'll make sure that our county social media group gets that information. So especially on the fire safety thing, we do not want a fire at all.
No, we don't. And yeah, with warm weather approaching and the conditions out there, I've personally noticed a lot of tall grasses throughout a lot of these routes that are going to be taken. And, it just takes one spark to kick off into that, and it could be off to the races. So I think the more information people have on being safe, especially with the chain dragging issue, I think it'll be better for everyone. So I will definitely get those messages put together, and I'll send them over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, one of our tremendous partners is with the California Highway Patrol, and we couldn't do a lot of what we do in the county without these folks, without our friends in the fire service. So Jessica, from our local public information officer for the California Highway Patrol, is with us. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you for having me. And I have a lot of information. Now, what we want to remind everyone is that we are going to have the most available officers that we can from our area. However, our neighboring CHP offices are assisting us, including King City, Hollister Gilroy, and officers from our Santa Cruz office. So we will be working in addition with those officers coming into our area during that week on different days, just to offer, the best service that we can for the Monterey public, the Monterey County public here. In addition to that, we want to remind everybody of the press releases that we'll be sending out, of course, along with Monterey County. And we want to remind everyone we'll be available for on-camera interviews leading up to that week, of course. And Caltrans is also a big partner with us as far as putting these messages out on those electronic message boards. Those will be out on Highways 101 as well as 68. Just reminding everybody leading to the weekend, those last few days, including Thursday and Friday, are also going to be very heavy. Again, we'll remind everybody to ask for their patience. And we are anticipating Thursday being the busiest for the highway patrol because of the auto rally that we will have in the area. Now, this auto rally will be along the coast, and we will be doing multiple lane closures, moving lane closures. So we don't know what times. It's very unpredictable. We have a window, but we are expecting that to take place on Thursday. In addition to that, we'll have extra enforcement throughout the week and the weekend, just because of additional vehicles that tend to drive recklessly. We want to make sure that the public has a way to call those type of calls in to us, so we can send an officer who's conducting that type of enforcement to assist with that.
Great. Thank you, Jessica, for that. And it's as you alluded to, this is a monumental effort on behalf of multiple agencies
Yes.
throughout the county and throughout the state and federally as well. So we appreciate everybody's cooperation out there. And also the media feel free to share whatever any of our agencies put out on your social media or on your newscasts, because the more people who get the message, the better off the entire community will be. So thank you again. And any questions for our team that is covering the car week? Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I had a question for the CHP. If I were to check out some of your social media sites, what would be the best platforms to find some of your messaging on, please?
Yes, so we'll be putting that on through Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter pages. And we'll basically be sharing a lot of the information that is provided using the QR code, the mccarweek.com, all that type of information. That way it takes everybody to the same links with the most updated information.
Great, thank you. And that's
awesome.
a great
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew, for asking that. And since you brought that up, the County of Monterey has approximately 35 social media accounts that all those accounts will be posting on through all our various departments. But the main county social media page would be Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is Monterey County CA on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So thank you for that. Any other questions for any of our partner agencies with regard to Car Week? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move now over to our Chief of Parks, Mr. Bryan Flores. Our Parks Department has been very engaged in a lot of important activities in the last several weeks, which include taking the temperature of the community where it concerns e-bikes. And I know, Bryan, you want to talk about that survey as well as a few other things happening in the Parks Department. So welcome, Chief Flores.
Great, thanks, Nick. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. Yeah, we are currently soliciting input from our community as well as our visitors regarding e-bike use in county parks. Currently, Monterey County Code 1412.060 limits e-bikes to only being used on our paved park roads, not on dirt trails. And so the Parks Commission, we formed an ad hoc advisory committee for the Parks Commission to kind of, like Nick said, get the temperature of the community on how they'd like to see e-bikes regulated within our county parks. And we're hoping to get a broad spectrum of input from not only the biking community, but also equestrian, environmental community, hikers, basically anybody that has that uses our parks or has an interest in helping us kind of get some ordinances in place to regulate e-bike use. And this does impact our surrounding partners such as BLM, state parks, regional parks. And so we'll be chatting with them about their efforts also to regulate e-bikes. From our kind of rudimentary on-site surveys, it appears that between 60 to 80% of our biking community uses e-bikes within our parks. And it's a really difficult thing to enforce with limited staff members. And, you know, so we're looking at to kind of codify some regulations to help the public use our parks in a safe and appropriate manner with e-bikes. We're going to be putting out, we have put out on social media the survey in English. We have finally gotten it translated into Spanish, and we'll be putting that out in Spanish as well, posting it on our parks as well as our county website, and taking some ads out in local print media. On a separate subject, I'm happy to announce that we are ending the second longest park closure of one of our county parks, and that is Jack's Peak Park is going to be reopening this Friday. It has been closed since January 4th for approximately 7 months. The Toro Park was closed for 8 months after the river fire. So this is the second longest closure. It just so happens that it's not been under my tenure. So hopefully it's nothing I'm doing. But we've taken this time, you know, it was kind of a, no pun intended, a perfect storm this year for Jack's Peak. In January and March, we were just absolutely hammered by the storms. We lost over 40 trees on the trails and roads, as well as many more dozens of trees in the open space areas that are forested. After we got the debris cleared around April, May, a tree fell on our water tank and damaged the water system equipment. That was repaired and replaced with ARPA funding, the American Rescue Plan Act funding. We got that fixed, and we were getting ready to reopen, and another tree fell on our electrical transmission or our electrical service line that powers the water system, and actually yanked our service pole out of the ground. So once we got that repaired, then it was a waiting game with PG&E to get them to re-energize the line. And then our new pump started going offline, and we finally got that repaired on Saturdays. Everything is finally working. We're very happy. We've been doing a lot of maintenance projects, painting buildings, doing a lot of vegetation and fuel reduction, really trying to make the park, you know, nice for when we do reopen. So very, very happy to welcome back all of our park users and our visitors, and especially as Car Week's coming up, it'll give those of us who are wanting to get off the road kind of a nice little place to have a respite, and then to show off Jack's Peak Park to our visitors, because it really is one of the jewels of not only county parks, but of our entire county. If you haven't been up there, and many people have not, a lot of people don't even know it's there. Take a trip up there. It feels like you literally leave Monterey and you're up in the Sierras. It is such a beautiful, beautiful place. So that kind of ends my topics.
No, thank you, Brian. And, you know, we are fortunate to have some beautiful parks, and it also, these openings coincide with a public service campaign we are starting to push out for enjoying Monterey County parks. So parks are a great place for family activities, and also many of our parks are available to be rented for event space. So if you're interested in event space, or your company or your organization, your church, your club has a need for beautiful outdoor space to have an event, Brian would be more than happy to take care of you. So Chief Flores, again, thank you for your time today, and thank you for maintaining our beautiful Monterey County parks.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
All right, and does anybody have any questions for Brian? All right, seeing none. Well, we appreciate everybody being here today. We will be back next Wednesday at noon, same place, same time. And we look forward to your participation. Everyone, have a great week. Be safe this weekend, and watch the traffic, because there's going to be a lot of cars on the road. Take care now. Bye-bye.